Alright, so after all the crazy shenanigans the last time, you barely survived a sudden meteor strike that darkened the sky and rose an unusual supernatural-esque moon, and also surviving not only a bandit incursion that was apparently not expecting you from come up from behind, but also surviving a incident with imps in a cave. You are finally free to finally head back to town. Speaking of which, after cracking open all the shells, I believe you can't see the city still, so give me a nature check to get back to town.
I should probably open my character sheet.
Yeah. Me too.
Actually, not nature. I guess a nature or survival, depending on whichever is better for you.
Survival's +1. Nature is +4. Okay, nature.
Ugh. Pretty rock. That shows the way back.
The pirate is stopped by Pretty Rock. Valena this time seems to remember the direction the others were pointing last time, and wow, my brain just suddenly frazzled. Theobald also quickly follows after her, followed by Geralf, before Geralf, being the last one there, kind of starts pulling Ozina from behind the group to keep going. Enough of the rocks. Matter of fact, Valena, you peek over a dune, and almost instantly you can see the taller buildings of the city, not too far away. So you've actually managed to find a slight shortcut.
Ooh.
I'll say this shaves off like about a half hour to an hour of your time walking, and you actually do get back into town before nightfall.
Nice. I just know that Blaine is going to be so happy just going back in and seeing all those smiling faces.
So actually, the question is, what does the party want to do first thing they're back in town?
Well, I want to go visit the medicine. The medicine guy.
Oh, you want to visit the medicine man about the demon horns? Yes.
Yeah. I got 16 of them.
16 of them, I'm sure they're probably close to almost half a pound each. They're not going to be like extremely light or anything.
Right. They're all well. They're all. I'm sure they're also smaller than the actual like deer antlers because the Nightgaunt's horns weren't exactly super long.
Oh, that's what she. Never mind. I just got a text message, and I'm like, earlier I was like, I'm not even sure what that means, but whatever. And she just spell corrected it. It's like, oh wait, never mind. Okay, I understand now. Anyway, yes, you head back to the medicine man. It's been roughly a day and a half since last time, I think. Actually, double checking my brain.
Because we did that other job before we.
Yeah, you did the other job. So technically, it's been about 2.5 days since last time you saw him. He looks back, and it takes him a second, and he's like, "Ah, hello, yes, welcome back. You seem to have more business for me, yes?" And you come up to him.
I've got something a little more exotic this time.
More exotic.
So
starts to come over, puts on a pair of glasses.
Out of character, real quick. Does my character actually know what Nightgaunts are, or are we just using their names without actually knowing what they are?
I'm pretty sure if no one else, Valena, has told you what the hell they are. Because being at least somewhat tied to magic, she knows better than most of the rest of you do.
All right, so I say to him, we were exploring some ruins to the north, and I got some horns from some Nightgaunts.
He kind of stops short for a moment, raises an eyebrow. Nightgaunts, you say? Very interesting. And he starts to wander a little bit closer. And matter of fact, actually, no, it's not. I was saying glasses earlier. No, he's not got glasses. He's got more like one of those like jeweler things that they put in over one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he kind of walks over, even more interested now, and puts one in the eye, and He looks down with his normal eye to see you kind of unwrap these things. And it's just a huge collection of these horns. He's like, interesting, and then squints with the one eye with the magnifier and starts looking through it. Very interesting. Not actually made of bone, but it's hard to tell what material it is.
I figured if nothing else, they might be useful for some kind of experimentation.
He thinks about it for a moment, still looking them over. Yes, it should be very interesting for experimentation. Might actually find out what they're made out of. Or what they can do outside of it, even if we can't figure out what they're made out of. Very interesting indeed. So he starts to think about it as he's looking it over, because he's still looking over and he can't quite figure out what it's made out of, but it's some unusual material that's already got him highly interested. So you have 16 of them, you said?
Yeah, I do mention to him, just because this might pique his interest, what happened when we actually burned one of the bodies, because it more or less didn't leave anything behind after it was completely destroyed. Like, it didn't leave any ash, because you mentioned it didn't leave any ash behind when it was burned.
It might have left a little bit of ash, but there's certainly not much. Not like an entire body's worth, that's for sure. It kind of seemed to poof off. He does raise an eyebrow at that and goes, "That's very interesting. The extreme heat can almost completely dissolve it. Interesting." I'm trying to think, like, how much would a pair of antlers go for in D&D normally?
Trying to remember, I think like the regular, I can't remember what the price was for the regular deer antlers.
Well, these are irregular items, so it'd be like tusk from a magical creature or dragon tusk, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Like a dragon scale, maybe price work. Not that rare, but.
And I obviously don't. I'm not expecting like a huge amount, because I'm also selling them to him in bulk, so I'm not expecting him to just be like, "Oh, each of these are worth like 10 gold," because that'd be a bit much.
Monster Harvester's Handbook, price guide for monster parts. That sounds about the best place to go for.
It's kind of funny because my character initially just hacked their horns off because she was pissed off and was thinking of maybe keeping them as a trophy, but then there were so many of them, I was like, these might be worth something.
Paw, hide, beak, skull. I'm looking for something that's along the lines of horns or antlers. Not. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Chimera horns.
Yeah, because last time it wasn't just the deer antlers. It was also the spider goop that I sold them.
Mm-hmm. You know what? That seems like a fair enough price. So he looks it over. He figures there's 16 of them, and normally a single one he might be able to sell for like somewhere between 25 and 30 gold, depending upon who he asked. But trying to buy them all in bulk too, he obviously needs to make a bit of a profit. So he offers you about, say, 15 gold each.
15 each? Okay, that's...
So that's 15 times 16, yeah.
Yeah, let me get the calculator.
Yeah.
Seems like a fair enough price. That's 240 gold total, so I will add that to our... I'll add that to our current total. Which brings us our pool of gold to
224.
What?
It says here 224 on the calculator.
15 times 16?
Oh, 15 times 16.
That brings our gold pool to
240, yeah.
2,100 and what was that? 88. 2,188 is our pool.
How much is the ship?
The boat that Ozzy's looking for. Let me see here. I have a bookmark near where the vehicles are. Not exactly, but near it. Okay. Now those are tools. I think the vehicles are for the tools, aren't they? I thought they were. No, maybe they're further back still.
Mounts and it's their after tools, mounts and vehicles. I'm looking at the player's handbook right now. A sailing ship is 10,000 gold.
Oh.
A warship is 25,000, and a galley is 30,000. What's a galley exactly? I'm not sure what that actually.
I think that was like the prerequisite to a galleon for medieval times or something like that. It was like almost like a sloop, but I'm trying to remember because I used to know.
I'm not finding it anywhere now.
Because I used
know
to
I
study
had
that
it
stuff.
like last several times I looked for it.
The cheapest boat I can get that would hold multiple people is a keel boat. That'd be a bit of a step up from what we currently have, because it can at least fit.
I've actually looked up keel boats, and they actually do have. They're big enough of a boat that they have a small cabin on top.
Right.
And I believe they also technically have sails, but they can also be run by oars and so forth.
Yeah. So that's actually probably the best choice if I want to get a boat relatively soon.
Yeah, it's the most logical one to go for if you want to try and get there soon. Now, how much did you say you had in gold right now?
2,188. That's not including whatever we're gonna get from selling the jewelry and the 8 jewels. We also have 200 gold worth of iron to get rid of.
Right.
Oh, that's right. So the iron is an easy 200 out of the blacksmith. They don't even question it. It's like, oh yeah. Matter of fact, one smith is looking at it going, oh yeah, this actually already looks like good stuff, and the person behind them is just like, you're selling this stuff? Yeah, 200 easy. Apparently, you got some very nice, clean iron. As for the jewels, there was 8 of them in particular that you got.
Yeah, and there's also a huge pile of jewelry that we got from the ruins that you never really specified how much of it there was.
With the 8 jewels, I will say that each of them is somewhere in the vicinity of like 300 to 500 each gold. But those are such rare stones that you're not going to very easily want to sell them. Matter of fact, mentioning that the diamond is of a decent quality, immediately Theobald is just like, all right, I need that actually. And before you even question it, he's just like revivify or resurrection and put pockets too quickly.
Right.
Okay, so
yeah, eventually he should be able to res you guys even from actual death, as long as it's not been too long.
Okay, so we're gonna have to hold on to the jewels for now, because nobody around here is gonna have the money for it. But what about
the big jewels?
What about the jewelry?
As for the jewelry and the smaller jewels that you found, the smaller jewels, I want to say you probably can easily sell for like, let's go with like 400 easy for like the big selection that you have, and there's multiple different kinds. You get rubies, you got emeralds, sapphires, diamonds. Oh god, the list just goes on. It's just a crazy hodgepodge, and even the people buying it from you are like, wow, this is quite the little collection. And they're still checking the quality and everything too, and they're just like, this is all solid, decent quality. Where you guys happened to find a treasure trove, didn't you? Kind of a deal.
Of course, this is the stuff from the ruins. The actual ones you said are too valuable.
And Melina puts it in her mouth and seller's secret.
The ones you said are too valuable are the ones that basically came out of the meteor, right? So
yes. Yes, the super valuable ones came out of the meteor, and they're much larger. But these ones that you're selling altogether can cost like one of them. And this is stuff that you found in the Aquilonian treasure rooms and stuff. So it's not Aquilonian.
Do we ever collect that Black Acre or
Atlantis.
something?
What about the Black Acre?
The blood of the night gods. I thought of it, and I don't remember if you mentioned it, so I don't think we did.
Yeah, I don't think you guys actually saved the blood for any of the monsters. It just decided to collect the horns. It was easier.
I think we were too creeped out by the actual stuff itself to even consider doing it. But so you said the jewelry and the jewels were getting about what, 400 for selling it off to people?
Actually, yeah, I'll even throw in the jewelry and we'll say 500. altogether,
Okay,
with all the gems and so forth that you found, plus the jewelry that you found, and they are looking it over and going, "Wow, this is like Atlantis quality. Yeah, we can sell this pretty easily. Thank you." And they're still selling it of course, they're still selling it to you, buying it from you at a price where they can still make a bargain on it.
Yeah. So that puts us within 112 gold of being able to afford a keel boat.
It puts you within about 100 gold of being in the good boat.
I wonder if we could find a guy that makes boat or that has boats and offer him the gold
Wait.
plus one of the valuable jewels for a boat.
Hold on a second, let me check something. You saying this is the loot we have all together?
This is the pooled up money so far, yeah. And actually, I believe you still have a few other things to sell yet.
Let me see.
We got some leftover weapons and stuff,
But they're not going to be terribly expensive. But you do still have some leftover stuff yet. And
You
actually,
know
you were
what,
also, I believe
could-
you were mentioning the fact that you wanted to hold on to some of it just in case for crew eventually.
You know what? I can be very generous to Ozzy and get the money to the 112 by maybe, and I may regret this, but hey, if it gets us a keel boat, the creepy totem,
What?
the creepy totem that can raise my abilities and stuff at a price.
Oh, the corruption totem you found, yeah.
Who are you going to sell that to, though? That's
Yeah,
not
a
really.
good- yeah.
That's the thing that you might get more trouble than it's worth trying to sell that in this town.
Yeah, matter of fact, actually,
Because the bartender was kind of weirded out by the wand of smiles at first until he actually saw it and thought about how he could use it.
yeah, matter of fact, Valina, as you're thinking about this, give me give me an intelligence check.
All right. Intelligence check. Constitution. That's dexterity, intelligence. Ah, there it is. Nope.
Oof. Totally, selling this thing would be such a bright idea. Oh dear.
I tried to sell it to Azina. With that roll, that's probably as dumb as I am.
Okay, are you seriously going to try to sell to
so that I
Azina?
could give you the money so that you could buy a boat? Elena, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, first of all, Azina, that wouldn't make any sense because you're still not making the money. Second of all, you're looking at this thing like, what the fuck does it do?
I have an idea. Are there any nature enthusiasts in this town?
Nature enthusiasts. How do you mean?
Because I still have the staff of bird calls.
There's do we have like nature
We still have the staff of bird calls, the spell scroll of druidcraft, and the potion of animal friendship. Actually, 2 potions of animal friendship. We never decided what to do with those last time from our previous.
Right.
Trying to think. I'm trying to think how you go about this. Actually, you know what the best idea would be to go about this? I think is if you go back to the those guild offices where you got your first couple jobs.
Right.
Most likely, like rangers and druids and so forth might actually be in a place like that, but also looking for work in public as well as posting on the outside post-it board. So it might be your best luck to check there. Do you want to? I assume you're going to probably try and roll for this. So try and think. What would be the best idea? Roll a perception check for me.
I was gonna say investigation, but okay.
It's more of a perception than investigation. You're looking for someone who stands out, but you're also looking for someone who would obviously be in that kind of place. Geralt Tide and Theobald. Actually, Theobald should probably have the best one. Never mind. Maybe not.
What did he
Well-
roll? I didn't see it. Oh,
What did he get? Oh wow, he
Yeah.
rolled only 3 over the plus for his roll. Yikes! It does take you guys quite a while, but as you finally decide to go to the guild hall to look around, you do eventually find a guy kind of sitting by himself in a back corner, and it's obvious this guy is a bit of a nature buff. In the middle of a desert, he has a fucking wolf next to him that he's also kind of feeding scraps to, and seems to be just kind of watching out for himself. He does raise an eyebrow, though, when this weird hodgepodge of a group kind of walks up on him. Can I help you? It's a bearded man, kind of greenish-brown outfit. Bit of fur on the back, although he has removed most of it because of the weather.
You know the worst thing about this is, you came here, you gave me this idea to try. I came up with the idea to try to sell this shit, but you basically came out just like on the spot, came up with an NPC that I'm like, I want to recruit him.
God damn it!
it's like that one joke, or it's like all these elaborate stories ideas. Talks to the one goblin NPC they came up with on the fly, and everyone goes to goblin NPC.
But no, it's because I go, you look like a lover of animals.
I have a bit of that. What does that mean to you?
I got
Melina slightly giggles.
We got some magical objects that we acquired during a recent adventure, and they're not really useful to any of us because they're not really our thing. I show them the staff of bird calls and the potions.
He takes a look at this stuff and he does start to look it over a bit and just like, oh yeah, I can definitely see where you're having problems with that. Not everybody's going to be useful. Not all of this is going to be useful for someone. Especially the bird calls. That's a little bit of a weird one. Could be useful in some places, but not out here.
I go, so why don't you just make me an offer? If you're interested.
It's a staff of bird calls and a couple of potions, you said?
Yeah, 2 potions of animal friendship.
I'm
Which would
going
help
to
him quietly
roll.
help him deal with animals that he isn't naturally good at dealing with.
True, possibly. Oof. Okay, yeah, he's not gonna put one on you too much. And he's actually going to, let's do it this way. Boom. Oh wow.
The value of those items is probably way more than an average person would actually be able to pay for them.
Probably, but let's just round this up and let's say he decides to give you about 200 gold for them all.
Wow.
That works.
Yeah.
That means
Yeah,
we still
I
have a
tried to
little bit
roll
left
him
over.
trying to outbarter you on it maybe, but he rolled a 2. And he's just
All
like, oh, you know what? I have lots of uses for this stuff. Here. I'm going to find me a pet eagle.
Yeah.
So that means that after we buy a boat, we'll have 88 gold left to split between us. As long as none of the other party members care that most of the money's going towards getting us a good boat to use.
I believe most of the members were aware that we were kind of trying to pull for this anyway, so as long as they're not going bankrupt, try and think, how much gold do these guys have?
This is pretty hammy, but after all the business is taken care of at the end, but it's going to put a gold coin on there, like one of the ones she probably found in the tomb or whatever, and just say, if you ever want more of that, come find us. Just walk away.
A bit ham-fisted, but sure, okay.
I know it's him because it's 1 gold coin, but the idea is it's probably one of those coins we found in
Oh,
the
it's probably a coin with like an old Atlantean symbol on it. Probably, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, he looks at it and does kind of raise an eyebrow, flips it over. It still looks slightly baffled by it, but is all right with this. Okay.
So wait, what's going on?
Essentially, Valena left a guy an Atlantean gold coin and just went, "Hey, if you ever want to look for more gear, just let us know."
Well, the idea is she's slowly trying to ease him into recruitment.
Oh,
I literally come up with essentially a ranger type guy out of nowhere. You guys are jumping down on him to go.
he has a wolf.
Be hired by us. Start smacking his face. He doesn't even have a name yet.
We're so popular.
Like,
Literally the reason they're popular.
why are all my NPCs so good to you?
I don't know why. So
Geralt's just off to the side like, that was the first good one. Rubs and wanders off to a corner.
So, I guess we should go to. I'm assuming there's a shipyard here because we're on a river.
Yes, you are on one of the biggest cities that's literally on the river stream to head out of here. Speaking of which, I need to zoom back in and try and remember what the place was even called again. Yeah, Shadazar. One of the 4, well, actually one of the 5 more major cities of Zamora. And right on the border to Korean, which the entire river basically runs along that border and also goes through the middle of Turan before hitting the Valiant or Inner Sea.
So, as we're walking towards the shipyard, I ask Garroth and Theobald if either of them have any animals they're particularly fond of.
Animals they're particularly fond of?
Yeah. Like in a symbolic way, maybe.
Trying to think. I've never thought deep enough to figure out what their favorite animal was. That's an interesting thought.
Like, I don't know if there's any animals that are like associated with their gods at all.
Not particularly with their gods, although I will say being a northern man, for Theobald, an easy one to come by would be a grizzly, essentially. A large bear. Mm-hmm. There are
Garroth probably wouldn't have much problem with the bear either because it's a big, powerful animal.
Though that's a quick one for Theobald. As for Geralt, he's been more in Samaria, and Samaria's a weird kind of place. It's a lot of it can be desolate desert land, but there are definitely huge pockets of forests here, mountains there. Samaria can be a really weird hodgepodge of environments depending on what season it is too, in particular. To which he does agree that the bear is a good one. Another one he can think of is wolves. As every once in a while in Samaria there is occasionally a wolf problem, and that needs to be dealt with in order to keep herds and crops.
What kind of animals would they keep as pets in Hyboria?
In Hyboria, the kind of animals they would keep as pets?
Or just animals in general, like, and I'm just thinking because this is like way back in the day. So
yeah, this is technically a way back in the day kind of environment, but for farming cows and horses and so forth, I'm not unheard of already at this point. Although you do see the rare occasional horse or cow pulled wagon, but it's not as frequent as you would think. At least not yet.
Right.
But you do occasionally see it. And very seldom, depending on whose military you're looking at, you might even see cavalry with actual animals as well.
Right.
It's just there's a reason related to the ship that I'm asking this question. Because I'm thinking I'm thinking that like I should try to find someone who could give us a custom figurehead of an animal on the front of the ship. You know how they usually have like one of those statue things.
Yeah.
Valena just goes, well, speaking of animals, I used to own a horse named Northwind. He got killed when I was taken.
Oops. But also besides like normal farming animals and obvious convenience animals like horses, there would be dogs. There would be, or at the very least, trained wolves.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
And,
Would it be dogs or wolves? Is what I was thinking about.
there would be at least, I would assume there would be at least a small population of dogs, not as wide of crazy setup breed like we have now, but like maybe at least a couple of like larger nameable dogs like trying to think, like Dobermans, although they probably wouldn't be called that at this point. But you'd probably have one of the definite ones you would probably have and might have already been named would be like pit bulls and stuff like that, because they could be used as attack dogs.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have Valena goes. My family had 2 trained wolves. One's called Gimmer, and the other one's Hormurf.
So I guess that's 2 votes for wolves and 1 for a bear.
To which Theobald is not a stranger to wolves either, although he does see them more as a pest than bears are.
Maybe.
But then again, it's not like the barbarian was saying that they have a lot positive time with wolves either.
You know what? I'm just gonna go with the bear because I think it sounds more badass.
A bear. Oh, bear.
So when we get to the shipyard, and
I just realized Valena just says, "Oh, wolves aren't all that bad. They just want to be loved and they kill intruders."
And eat your babies.
Basically, I obviously I'll look to see if there's any keel boats that actually have a figurehead of a bear on them already. I'm guessing I probably got to roll something for that.
Actually, matter of fact, also let me look up keel boats again for a moment.
Right.
Keel boat. I'm trying to think of where you would put a figurehead on a keel boat, although
usually that would be like on any ship. It would usually be at the front. I'm trying to remember what that section of the ship is called, though.
The bow.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
So actually, speaking of which, I'm gonna copy this, and not only am I gonna put this over here for a visual for others to see on the web browser here really quick. Oh, actually, I should have copied URL. Boom. But I'm also gonna put this in the chat in just a moment here, just so you guys can get an idea what a keel kind of looks like.
Right.
Because this also has it's not a huge picture, but it's big enough that you can make out people on it.
Yeah, I looked it up on Google image searches. It was hard to find one that's not like a modern day one where it's like a crappy, bland white sailboat thing.
Yeah, something like along those lines.
It's kind of like what that kind of reminds me of. That kind of reminds me of a Viking ship.
It almost kind of is. And there are some different variants in between. Like there's some that are actually more cabin than it is boat. Like that thing in the back is like more of a central thing. It takes up like 3/4 of the space as opposed to just that little thing in the back. But there does seem to be a ride variant of them. But that one does seem to be the more common old school version that I can find. Oh wow, actually I just found one that has like a elk figurehead on the front of it, and it looks to be a painting. Here. Let me bring this one up. This one's actually kind of cool.
In fact, I think wasn't the ship they used? Oh wait, no, that might have been too small. Yeah, so that's basically like where the figurehead would be, the way that is.
Yeah, with the elk head right there. Instead of that, like an elk head, you're kind of looking.
Actually,
like a
I
bear.
have a question, and this is actually a really serious question for once. It's sad I have to say that. is there any shipyards or shipbuilding yards that we could pay for a cubo for the same price as a just buying one? You know, to just have one customly built for us?
Well, that's what you're essentially planning to do, is get one built for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, paying as much money as you buying a brand new keelboat, essentially.
Yeah, I thought
It
were
might
just
even take a
shopping
day or
around.
two to actually get made, depending upon how busy they are.
Which
Yeah,
basically means we'll just be hanging around town for a little bit.
yeah. I thought we were just shopping around for our existing keelboats, but yeah, that works. Because then we can just make it look like anything we want.
Well, that actually depends upon your luck, and actually that's where a good spot to actually start rolling for this is. Do you guys want to start looking around for a place to get a keelboat from then?
Yeah, see if we can
Yeah.
find one where they'll make it for us.
If you find one that can either make one for you or it has one ready for you. Let me see here. What would that be under actually? Would that be investigation?
be
That probably
more-
would be investigation, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Geralf's got -1 to go into this one.
15,
got a
not
14.
bad.
And investigation. It's insight. Investigation +0. How did we do? Oh, wow.
Geralf did pretty freaking good.
Geralf did the 9 and Thubel did the 18, and that was a +0.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought that Geralf was the second one.
No, Geralf was the first one. Funny enough, it's the Nordheimer that can find a boat. So you guys do kind of look around. There are a few different. There's the main basic docks, but they're not obviously where they're going to be building boats. And you do find there are 2 or so major shipyards in the area. You poke around the first one a little bit, but not really finding anything pre-built, and you would have to wait like 2 to 3 days because they are a little bit busy. But visiting the other shipyard, you do find that they do have a boat that's partially ready. They could have it easily done for you by the morning if they put a little more effort into it, and they do have someone who can make a bear figurehead for you.
All right.
Most of them don't know what a bear looks like because they've only lived here in Zamora for most of their time, but one of the carpenters is like, yeah, I know what a bear is. And he pulls out some references.
It's kind of funny because we ran into a bear on the
them.
way here, but they don't know what a bear is.
Well, you found bear along the border though too, so it's like bears aren't really that normal in a desert, and you're a little further away from the more temperate areas, although again still along the river.
Right.
Okay. So, but how long is it going to take them to make it?
Like I said, they should actually have it ready for you by the morning, as long as they put their guys to work on it, strictly on that for getting it wrapped up by then. And
right.
and especially if you can pay them cash right now, they'll probably hop on it right away.
Yep. I give them the 3,000 gold, so we only got 88 left.
You essentially hand over this big fucking sack of coin, and immediately the shipyard guy's like, boys, wrap that one up. Carpenters, we need a bear figurehead. And they nod and quickly start getting to work.
You know the worst part is, if it's anything like real life, there's also that one guy lying on the job.
Oh, you probably don't see him, but there's probably another unfinished boat where you can probably hear snoring coming from. Yes.
You know what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to pay Jacob to draw our fucking boat.
Is it going to have all the characters on board? Because that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, if we... I might actually have him redesign a Xena for me before I do that, though. Okay, so then I guess we probably should just head to the inn to relax.
Speaking of which, are you going back to the same tavern?
That's a good question.
Come to think of it, I don't think you know of any other taverns in town, to be honest.
I think we picked it because it was the best one we could find at the moment.
Yeah, it was basically the quickest one you could find, and it wasn't too far from the docks.
Yeah. Yeah, it was close to the docks, and we were freaking. My character was like.
Yeah, your character was on the verge of just collapsing.
Yeah, which is why when Valena tried to flirt with her, she's like, "No."
So by the way, so then you decide to head back to the same tavern. You can't even remember the name of it now that you think about it, but it's just like, the tavern that we stayed at last time. As you get there, you literally see a guy at the front with the bar slash innkeep, and he's talking to the guy who's apparently about to put up this new sign. And to which he says, "All right, yep, that should do it. Just remember, keep smiling." And the guy just kind of nods and half smiles and starts to lift up the sign and starts to put it on, and he actually starts to have a little bit of a moment where he's struggling and the smile starts to fade, and he's just like, "I said smile." All of a sudden you see the one come out. There's a moment where the guy hanging the sign is just like, and just grabs his cheeks as he suddenly realizes he's smiling and can't stop, and he just keeps going at it now with his forced smile. And as you pass by, you see the sign that says Tavern of the Permanent Smile.
Oh my god. What have we done?
Valena's just loving it.
Oh, and by the way, as you're seeing this guy that you sold the wand to yesterday he was in just kind of a brownish outfit with a simple blue sash. Didn't really explain him very well, and I've got a better mental image of him now. Darker skinned guy, so he's obviously local Zamorian. And today, though, he's in a nice light blue outfit with a deep, like a forest green and then like a mossy green sash around his middle. And as he sees the four of you kind of marching up, he's like, "Ah, hello again. Are you coming in to spend the night again?"
Yes.
Fantastic. Right this way. And he starts walking you guys back to the same area where he'll set up your rooms for you.
Right. I figure we should have obviously we're gonna have a meal before we turn in.
He pretty much slaps down that you guys are going to get all four rooms if you want to, a gold each, and you already are prepaid for all the food. And you also notice that there's been a bit of an extra crowd tonight because apparently there's been a bit of a show off with that new wand. It's obvious, an obvious hint that's what's been going on. As even the bartenders now sitting there with a slightly nervous smile, just kind of like, keep smiling, kind of to
He's
himself.
smiling so he doesn't make
I'm
me
gonna look
smile.
for that one waitress out by the altar and look
God.
at her in the eye and say, "Remember, smile."
It runs off the back. You just get a few people looking over like, what the fuck was that about? But then shrug and just go back to enjoying their food or whatever show's going on.
So our rooms total are going to be 4 gold, so I'll just take that out of the pool instead of our
All right.
But as you know, we're sitting down and relaxing, I kind of ask the party, so what should we put on our Jolly Roger?
Theobald kind of blinks and raises an eyebrow. He never really thought about that. And the Sumerian starts to go into deep thought, and he's kind of pondering. He's got a few ideas, but he hasn't decided if any one of them's really good yet.
Valena just goes, "I've always been a big fan of skulls." And everyone just stares at her and it's just like, "What?"
Theobald obviously just stares at you like, obviously. But then that's when Geralf actually pokes his head up and goes, "A skull with devil horns."
Oh my god.
Oh, I thought of something. Could it be possible to do a skull the shape of a night gaunt?
No,
Okay.
no night gaunts. Huh.
You say no night gods, and suddenly Theobald's getting a devilish look on his face and just kind of at you. Trying to do his best impersonation of the horrific noise they made.
I think you wouldn't want anything to do with them either, because you were right in front of them for most of that fight.
I'm not worried about them. They could barely hit me.
I like to picture Geralt shrugged at that comment.
I mean, now the funny thing is, I don't know if Helena realizes that most most Jolly Rogers already do have a skull and crossbones on them.
Depending upon the particulars, but yeah, there are probably quite a few that still just use the old standard, even at this time. Actually, to be honest, I haven't actually checked what kind of flagmanship they do have for the Conan stories. I would have to look into that, but yeah, I've seen some fancy stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if skull and crossbones would not be a obvious possible standard. But as the contemplation still goes, Geralt's just like, the demon horns still stand, right?
I just picture Helena just going, I have an idea. Bear skull with demon horns.
That's when Geralt starts to tilt his head slightly and like, what?
Oh, it goes with the theme. There's a bear going to be on the front, right?
I just had a horrible thought. I gotta look. This is unrelated to the thing. Oh god, where are animals in this freaking book? Where are pets?
The player's handbook.
You're
Or
checking the player's handbook for pets?
Yes.
it's near
What
the
would
back.
what would that be under? Because that's not a mount, so that wouldn't be under
It wouldn't be under vehicles because those would be mounts and stuff there. Are there
trinkets. Would that be under trinkets? No, I'm gonna freaking Google this.
Is there like an animal thing?
I can check real quick.
Pet.
I can check real quick. Let's see.
Not normal gear, that's for sure.
Sources. There's handbook. That's creature statistics. Okay, we got bat, black bear, boar, brown bear.
Okay, what the? A chicken is 2 copper.
Yeah. It's only good for two things: laying eggs and eating.
Wait, maybe they are under. Maybe the animals are listed under because somebody said this is shit.
Giant eagle, giant spider, hawk, falcon, imp. Mastiff, lion,
That's background, so I went too far.
owl.
Because
panther.
I was, although I don't know if I'd even be able to get one here, but I did have the thought of I should get a parrot.
Yes! I think that's in the monster manual. I have to go check.
Yeah. Fuck it. I'm gonna do my standard, which is I'm gonna go here. D and D 5E parrot. Of course, my dyslexia tells me it only has one R. I have to correct. Okay, there's a 3rd edition parrot.
Dirty dastard. What?
No, that's not what I was looking for. There's nope. So you know what? I'm going to have to go with 3rd edition and see what they have to say about parrots. Type tiny animal. Hit die for hit points. 1d8 plus 1. Or minimum of 5. Interactive speed, armor class. Parrots are intelligent living animals in tropical regions. Parrots have combat mimicry. A parrot is able to learn a set of few sentences. A tame companion parrot can be ordered to use a number of standard sentences or a custom sentence of no more than 30 syllables. I'm still not seeing prices on them.
I imagine they gotta be more valuable than a chicken because a chicken being only 2
Well, yeah,
copper.
they obviously have to be more valuable than chicken, even though they're not that good for cooking.
Considering a donkey is 8 gold, I assume a parrot would probably have to be like a couple gold at most.
At the very least, I would think, yeah.
I actually have a weird random question, and I blame you, Matt, for putting this idea in my head. How much would a trained wolf go for?
A trained wolf? Oh gosh. Again, that's something else I would have to look up for. About owning vanity, there are any documented rules about owning vanity pets? There's nothing on the 5e rules that either allows or prevents acquisition of non-combat, non-magical pets. That means that whether or not you can have a pet is completely and totally up to your DM. Also, whether or not there is balance issue related to having a pet. Not be very worried about it. It may occasionally provide a very small benefit, if any. Maybe let provide advantage once a day if I wanted to do something especially mechanical with it. But in general, yada yada yada. Let's see here. Pet shop guide. Maybe that'll be more helpful. Pet companion. For a powerful magical bond with your pet or small and weak yet loyal animal that aids you among your adventures. Alright, raven, seahorse, spider, weasel. That doesn't really particularly help.
Oh.
Let's see
Alright,
here.
cool.
Pet shops. Small common animals are easy to come by and relatively cheap. Untrained dogs, cats, mice, owls, snakes. Some animals require training to perform certain tasks. Yeah, I'm going to say that if we do a lot with the parrot, it's going to require training, but I'm pretty sure you'll have time on open sea to do that.
Right.
Shopping catalog I made for in-game use. Maybe this will help. I'm looking for a straight-up catalog, and they're not giving me one. Come on. You know what? I'm just gonna roll a d20 on this. How much is a bloody freaking parrot's gonna be? Really? You're giving me the same roll again? I'm rolling again just to make sure. Okay. Now we're gonna do one more serious roll this time. Okay. Oh, that seems a little expensive. Oh, I didn't realize there was a D100 here. Either I'm blind or that's new. Okay, I've rolled for there. I've rolled for it twice, but yeah. Essentially, the game is telling me I'm like, let's say it's 10 gold at maximum. I'm rolling for it. It rolled for you twice. That's gonna be 1 gold for finding a parrot.
Okay, 1 gold.
Yep.
All right. Well,
The dice roller says so, so it must be so.
so
After a bit of looking around, you do find a person that does seem to have a number of animals for sale, and matter of fact, as you walk up, one of them in particular, a bluish one with some red feathers along the wings, just kind of floats up to you already on its own.
wait, what color is it?
It's mostly blue, but it does have like red feathers along the wings.
Okay.
Nice bright yellow beak. And just already automatically lands on your shoulder, almost like out of habit.
Oh my god.
The seller actually looks up to you and goes, "Oh, you like that one, yes?"
Yes, I do.
He's not expensive. Just 1 gold, please.
All right. I'm gonna take that out of my personal gold instead of the group because it's
All right.
a pet for me. So
What else do I see in the pet shop?
by the way,
Well-
real quick before I forget, let's divvy up the remaining gold between the parties so everybody because it's 84 between the 4 of us. That means everybody gets 21 gold.
All right, so 21 gold for everybody.
Okay.
That way I can just remove that from my list.
You can
of
remove your
things to
character sheet
keep
and everyone else can update.
Yeah.
21. This is going to be the most gold Theobald's ever had. And he's still far behind everybody else. 21, so yeah, he's
Alright.
at 32 right now.
All right. So, what animals do I see in the pet shop?
Give me half a moment.
I'm gonna have to come up with a name for this parrot.
How about
There's a very easy name choice I'm tempted to pick, but I don't think I'm gonna name him Iago.
I was gonna. Oh, I thought it was reverse colors, so I was gonna call him Sam, but that's a toucan.
That's true, that is also a toucan, so that's not quite right. Outside of the birds, and there's quite a few different ones. There's just a couple more parrots, but not a whole lot of them. There's a few different kind of birds. There's actually one particularly nasty-looking vulture. It's just like, let's not, almost just by looking at it. I will say that there's probably a small collection of prairie dogs, which is easy out here in the middle of nowhere in the desert. And you know what? I'm willing to say that. Let's see here. Let's roll for it. How many do you want? 2. There's like 2, like somewhere between wolf and dog hounds there.
Mm-hmm.
They are on a leash, and both of them are kept in separate pens, but they are there.
Okay. Is one of them female?
Let's see here. Roll above a 10.
Roll
Nope, they're
above a
both
10?
boys.
I was gonna name one Shirina. Oh well. I'll guess how much for one?
He does take to muttering to himself for a moment before deciding. 10 gold. They are not trained, but they are civil. Can't always guarantee that for a dog. Or a wolf.
I was gonna use civil in the name, and it almost came out as syphilis. Um.
That's a totally another thing.
Yeah. All right. I'll pay. And this is gonna. I hope I don't catch flack for this, but I'm gonna pay 10 gold for one of these wolf dogs, and another set of gold for a raven.
Actually, let me see. Do we have a raven? I'm gonna actually do a two-sided die, even though that doesn't technically exist. It's a coin, but actually I didn't even call it first. I'm gonna call it rolls a 1. I'll say yes. So rolls 2, and they say no. They say yes. You find a raven.
All right. How much for the raven as well?
The raven's a little less popular than a parrot, and he doesn't have that. But he doesn't have that many. But say like 5 silver.
So 10 gold and 5 silver.
Yep.
All right. Done.
So I have decided on the name for my parrot.
Okay.
His name will be Alberto.
Alberto.
I would have laughed if he named him Eduardo, but oh well.
And I was going to say before we actually head back to the tavern, one other thing. I'm assuming a tailor would be a good place to get a Jolly Roger. Because it's a cloth.
Taylor?
Or
Taylor would still be mostly clothing.
There's probably
You're
some.
looking for more of a like a cloth manufacturer, if you will. Which there has to be some if there's going to be any tailors around, and there's numerous tailors, so it doesn't take you long.
It'd probably be like the same kind of places where you get tapestries, I'd assume.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's the same kind of place you get tapestries or rugs or stuff like that from. So, what's your plan for a Jolly Roger then?
I've kind of taken a couple ideas people came up with and put mashing them together. A horned bear with an eye patch that's holding a set of scales in its jaw.
Interesting idea.
The scales is obviously kind of a reference to Mitra.
Right. Actually, yeah, this is going to be an interesting job, and I assume you want this done by the next day as well.
Doesn't have to be like in the morning, but yeah, before we get ready to leave, obviously.
So it would normally be about, I would say, 5 gold to get that done, but in order to hurry it along, it would probably be a 10 gold deal.
All right. That brings me down to 74.
Alright.
Wow, everybody else had a lot of gold. Suddenly the barbarian and the freaking cleric seemed really poor.
The thing is, I started with a lot of gold, and
That's
didn't have anything.
True. You did start with a lot of gold, and you managed to snitch most of it back, and then a little extra on the side.
Well, now, the other thing is I didn't have anything to spend it on that I could actually afford, in spite of the fact that I had a lot of gold compared to everybody else.
So yeah, you put down some extra money, and essentially another kind of little moment where you hear hand claps and some of the Zamorian talk as a couple of extra workers come out from back, apparently having a break or whatever, and there's like they seem to be talking plans for what they're going to do to get your Jolly Roger done by the morning. It could also be seen that the extra payment might have also been to help keep them to be hush hush about where this came from too.
Right.
Oh, because
you don't normally want to go parading around that you're making a Jolly Roger.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically
think I'll-
like you're walking into town and shouting, "I'm a criminal! Arrest me!"
True. Although, like, mine kind of implies that I plan on doling out some justice.
True. The mention of the scales in the teeth of the bear does raise an eyebrow, as that is occasionally seen as a Mitra thing too.
I've been thinking, and I'm gonna name the wolf dog. What I usually name in games my wolf, Soren.
Soren, all right.
And for the raven, that's gonna be trickier. What's a good raven name? All I can think of is, oh my gosh!
I have an easy one, but it's already been borrowed other places. Go ahead.
I just realized this is a little easy and creepy, but it would fit her. Tombs.
Tombs? Okay.
I got one last major plan before we leave the town, but that's not gonna be. I'm gonna do that the day of.
The day of, all right.
Rather than now.
So that being said, you're all done for packing stuff up then?
Yeah, unless Elena has something she wants to take care of.
I don't know what she did. Actually, no, there wouldn't be one in this town, would there? Like a like a magic store or something like that, or no? That'd
It
be
is
just
it is one of the bigger cities, so there's likely a place somewhere. It's just a matter of poking your head in the right place. So to that, I would say we need a roll for that probably.
all right. Let's roll.
See if
Should I
your
roll as
natural
well?
intuition can bring you somewhere. Let's check. Let me
Let's
see here. What
roll
do
and
we
move
want to
out.
go with?
History or no?
Actually,
Survival? No.
let's go with
Investigation.
Arcana, because obviously this
Oh.
is stuff you don't want to hand out willy-nilly to everybody, but you're going to hide symbology that's going to be really easy for people who are in the know to find.
13.
It takes you quite a while. Give me another roll.
I also rolled a 13.
This is more of a Valena thing, but
16.
it takes you start to look around and see if there's like maybe something that would be kind of secreted but out in the open, just to like let people know who are in the know. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge over here. It takes you you look around for like a good 10, 20 minutes. You're not initially finding anything, but then all of a sudden you think you caught something out of the corner of your eye, and looking again, you finding symbology that does start pointing you around. You find the first symbol that seems to be pointing you towards one end of the market, and then as you get to the end of it, you see another symbol on a wall, kind of hidden amongst other signs and stuff, and you just like over that way, and you start leaving the market and with everyone else in tow. And after a few more turns into the city, you do find a place. It looks like it's the front of an apartment, like a complex of other homes, but almost like an apartment, but a much more ancient take on it. And there is a sign out in front of one of them. It has what could be seen as either a religious sign, but for those who are more in the arcane know-how, that's very obviously a sign of, hey, I'm a wizard. I might have some stuff for you. Come on in.
Velena brushes herself off, raises her chin a bit,
Fixes
Prima
her hair.
fixes her hair. The raven's cleaning itself. The wolf just licks itself. Don't ask why. And they just go in all prim and proper.
So you finally decide to, after fixing yourself up for a quick couple moments, you decide to step in. Immediately, what you see is shelves upon shelves of books, and that would already be enough for most people just to go, I don't care, and leave. But not for a magic type, so you keep going inside further, and as you do, you start to see lights, but they're not of all the same color. You see a few red ones, a few purple ones, a flash of green and yellow here and there, and as you finally get around the shelves and shelves of books, you finally do see essentially a front desk. And you see, actually, this would be, yeah, I'm gonna say this is gonna be a woman actually working behind there. She has a hooded robe on, and she seems to be busy mixing a few things like alchemically, technically, in the back. But upon hearing you and a couple of other booted feet, she actually does periodically keep turning around to have a look, and finally turns around to spot you. Ah, hello. Just a moment. And finishes adding a couple drops to something, and finally fully pays attention to you. And welcome, welcome. Interesting. You found me. Hello, how may I help you today?
I can easily say
Just
I
a
bet won't.
constant, slightly sly grin, just anxiously looking at all of you, and she looks at the others and is just like, okay, whatever. Then looks at you with a raven on your shoulder and a wolf at your side, and the weird white outfit, and is just like, and the white hair, and it's just like, oh, hello.
Hello. Love your robe.
Thank you, made it myself. Need to have something to work out in the lab with, otherwise it turns into such a mess, and black hides everything.
Anyways, she looks around and is like, I have an interest in the arcane.
You don't say. With a knowing smile.
What do you have in the ways of the arcane, may I ask?
Oh, I have lots of things. Look at all the shelves behind you. books upon books, depending upon what you're looking for. And besides that, I also, and she gestures with her hand behind her, I have a laboratory. I do make a few potions now and again, and I also do tend to spend some time dealing with scripting up, shall we say, scrolls and other necessities. Anything in particular?
And I whispered to Ozina, "Did we ever sell that scroll of Druidcraft, whatever?"
That
No,
was
we still
assumably.
have it.
Hmm?
We still have that.
Oh, that's right. You probably didn't. It wouldn't have been useful to a ranger type.
Then I hand it to her.
Oh, interesting. A new spell. And as you hand it over, she does take a quick peek into it. Scrolls don't get used until you actually either cast a spell or actually write down into a book. So she's just having a quick, quiet look into it, and it's like, then rolls it back up. Interesting. Druidcraft, you don't see that every day around here, especially. Interesting.
Indeed.
I'd give you 5 gold for that. Sounds fair. Sounds fair to me. She's got this intense look, but she's also still very friendly.
Like, Valena can have the gold because it was her idea.
Right. So
So
I
yeah,
sell her to her for 5 gold.
you know, right?
And
Additional 5 gold. Oh, excellent. Thank you. This could come in handy some other time. And slowly puts it back behind the desk, and then comes back up almost immediately with a handful of 5 gold and sets it on the counter.
Get up and put it to my list of gold. And all right. And so Valena's gonna try to look around for spells.
All
And
right.
what kind? Okay, so I can do second level, first level, and cantrips. But I don't think I can write cantrips in my spell book. So first and second level
Cantrips?
spells.
I think you can learn cantrips in a book, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you automatically start off with a handful of them, but you still need to write them down and learn them eventually if you want to learn all of them.
Right. So I guess I'll go spell browsing, basically, for scrolls and stuff.
So the next
And
thing
what
would
do I-
be, how much does spells usually cost if you're trying to buy a spell?
Let me look it up.
Because I'm not sure offhand what that would entail.
Oh,
Probably too much.
buying a magic item. Let's see. Coming. Let's. The classic. Gosh damn it. Buying a magic item. Alright.
Yeah, I'm not finding anything that actually will give me monetary value.
Spell scroll. Alright, it's gonna be. So it's like if it's rare,
Okay, here we go.
20 or higher, 10 or higher for common, 15 for uncommon, 20 or higher, 25, 30 for. I guess that's just spell scrolls.
Okay, that's an interesting one because I found another one, but they're like cantrip and level 1 spells are like 50 to 100 gold.
Mhm.
And by the time you're hitting 4th and 5th level spells, they're like 500 to 5,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the price is
'Cause-
quite steep quite quickly.
because magic is not supposed to be something you're able to just buy easily.
Yeah, technically that is very true. So if you're looking for like cantrips and level 1 stuff, you can probably easily find a few things that you can buy.
Well, there's one scroll in particular I'm looking for.
but I'll have to
You have to
go
pass
to
it by me. So, what particular spell are you looking for?
Alter Self. I think that's a second level.
Alter Self, 5th edition. Attributes, Alter Self. Concentration up to 1 hour.
Second level, yeah.
Second level, yeah.
Or did I already take that spell?
Double check your spell list. You should have
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's on my spell list. Never mind.
Never mind, you already have it. So, next spell on the checklist.
All right. Let's see. Rules, spells. Let's try. Oh, enchantment sounds interesting. Let's try an enchantment spell. Okay,
Enchantment?
spell and spells second level. Oh my gosh, yes. Animal messenger.
Oh, Animal Messenger?
Yeah. Literally the first one that popped on the list.
Animal Messenger, 5e. Second level spell. Bard, Druid, Ranger.
So I can't use it.
Yeah, it does not say that's normally meant for a wizard.
Well,
By means
there's
of the
certain
spell,
magic.
you can use an animal to deliver a message. Choose a tiny beast you can see within range, such as a squirrel, blue jay, bat, you specifically.
All spells. Wizard. Alright. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
That does seem to be more of a ranger or druid or maybe occasionally a bard thing.
Oh, never mind. That
Yeah.
spells for Acquisitions Incorporated. Enchantment. What about no? That one has too much of a. Okay, let's not try enchantment. Let's try.
You're looking for other types. Okay.
Yeah. Let's try. What was the other one? Illusion. And spells. Illusion. And Blizzard. And second level. Alright. Blur, Magic Mouth, Magic Mirror Image, Nostrils, Magic Aura, Phantasmal Force. Phantasmal Force.
I think I might have heard that one before.
Well, my contact's acting up, so I can't read it. Darn it.
Phantasmal Force has been around a long time. That was in second edition as well. I just don't remember what it does. Because I never really liked picking illusion spells, because I'm like, that doesn't make things explode.
Level 2 illusion. Concentration up to 1 minute. You can craft an illusion that takes root in the mind of the creature that you see within range. The target must take an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, you create a phantasmal object, creature, or other visible phenomenon of your choice that is no longer a 10-foot. That is no larger than a 10-foot cube that is perceivable only by the target for the duration. The spell has no effect on undead or on our constructs. The phantasmal includes sounds, temperature, and other stimuli, also evident only to the creature. The target can use this action to examine the phantasm with an intelligence check against your spell save. If the check succeeds, the target realizes the phantasm is an illusion, and the spell ends. While the target
Okay.
is affected by the spell, the target treats the phantasm as if it were real. The target rationalizes on any illogical outcomes from interacting with the phantasm. For example, a target attempting to walk across the phantasmal bridge that spans a chasm falls once it steps onto the bridge. If the target survives the fall, it still believes that the bridge exists. and comes up with some other explanation for its fall.
Yeah, I think that'll work. Can I find Phantasmal Force?
Yeah, basically you could like say, for instance, convince it that there's another creature in the room trying to attack it, like something that it's afraid of, and force them to fight it, even though
I
it's
was
obviously not there. And
asking.
no matter how much they swing at it, they can't say no
I
to
was
it.
asking if I could find a spell in the shop, a scroll or
You're
something.
looking this. Yeah, you were saying you were trying to see that if it's in the shop. Let's roll a 50-50 die. 1 yes, 2 no. Oh, oof.
No.
It just rolled a no.
All right.
Let's try to speed this up a little bit.
This could be useful. Invisibility. I don't think that one needs any explanation.
Oh yeah, invisibility. That should be. You're saying that's a second level again?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm rolling the wrong thing here. That one it does say yes to.
I will try to ask for the price of invisibility.
Invisibility. That's actually a popular enough one that it would probably be. It would be under the uncommon, but it'd be a popular enough uncommon that's just like, oh yeah, that's like an easy 100.
All right. I will pay the 100 gold.
All right. And in your free time, you can spend, I believe it's a couple hours to put that permanently into your book.
I will.
All right, that's it for now.
I'm tempted. I was thinking about trying to buy something, but at the same time, it's like scrolls. I mean, they're only one-time cast if I buy them because I don't have a spell book.
Yeah, you don't actually keep a spell book, as far as I'm aware.
So
It would be. It would. I'm not sure how bards would go about learning things they don't already have.
Bards are very similar to sorcerers, where they have to just learn it from leveling up.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, you have to be very certain that the spells you want for leveling up are the spells you want.
Well, but at the same time, one thing that is good about bards is when they level up, they can learn a new spell and they can swap out one of their old spells for a new one if they want, but they can only do one spell at a time that way. And next time I level up, I am getting rid of Thunder Wave because one of those ones where I'm not using this for like anything. Why do I have it?
That was a whoops choice for me.
Because I got it and then I realized I'm never gonna get to use this because almost any time I'm within melee range of enemies, Garroth and Theobald are gonna be like right next to me, and I don't want to blow them up when I'm trying to hurt the enemies.
Ozzy, don't hate me, but basically what I was going to do with Phantasmal Force, Belena was going to test it on Ozina and show her Night Gaunt.
The Azina will be able to hate Velena as much as she wants.
I just kind of picture Azina waking up, seeing Night Gaunt, going, "Elena, stop it!" Going back to sleep.
Actually, no. That would only work if you legit like pass your save.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, depending upon how I would have to see how that works again. But yeah, no Phantasmal Force though.
Yeah, but I got invisibility, which could be useful for Belena.
Could be useful for a lot of things, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to cast it on your spell, so you can use it on anybody.
Oh yeah.
So with that, I take it you're done for today.
Yeah, I'm done for today.
Yeah, I guess
Theobald doesn't really have anything other than maybe taking a little time on his own to maybe make a prayer somewhere, and he can do that just about anywhere. And Geralt doesn't really have anything to look for. He's got a fucking Atlantean sword and a giant piss-off hammer.
You know something I just realized? I'm level 4. I was supposed to pick a new cantrip, and I forgot.
Oh, I haven't actually added the extra spells to Theobald yet either.
I mean, I'll worry about that before.
Yeah, we'll worry about that off
because,
stream. I'll actually have to remind myself after we're done here to start working on that.
Because we're probably not going to have any combat anyhow, unless I really
no. We've got a lot of other things going on, and you finally got the boat going. So I take it you all head back to the tavern then when you're done.
Yep.
The owner kind of raises an eyebrow as you come back with these extra animals, but doesn't question it. It's just like, whatever. They're crazy motley crew. They're fun though.
They helped me turn a bigger profit.
They have literally helped my tavern from being kind of to being the one that talks of the town now. At least this part of town. Technically, I keep wanting to think of this as a small place, but it technically is supposed to be a huge sprawling city. So it's not like it's not like being the talk of the area is a small thing, but it's like he's a talk of this particular subdivision.
I
Right?
really need to stop tormenting this woman, but as the woman is waiting tables and stuff, the raven's gonna fly by because it has mimicry and
Oh.
just say skulls, skulls, skulls.
Oh, what the hell?
It takes all about a minute before you just see her stand straight up, eyes wide, carefully but very quickly you'll make her way back to the back room before you just hear a distant again.
I'm assuming it's safe to say we can hit the long rest button on our character sheets.
Yep. As you torture the poor serving woman who's probably gonna quit after this week.
Anyways, Valena is going to study the new scroll and put it in her spellbook during this long rest, if that's okay.
All right. Well, you'll probably leave before the long rest actually starts, and maybe have some extra time to put it into your book.
Okay.
I've got a terrible idea that I don't know.
You're all full of terrible ideas. What are you saying? What's new here?
Well, the thing is, I'm thinking of trying to recruit a couple more people for the crew. That maybe not necessarily like proper like combat members, but just like people to help with the boat before we leave. And I just had a thought. It's like I wonder if I could recruit the homeless. Just think about it. Be like, hey, you want to turn your fortune around, be fed, and experience a life of adventure?
No, but yes. Food, but adventure. My head already hurts.
But, I mean, the thing is, like, I was thinking, I got weapons. They wouldn't need to arm themselves. I could just give them a couple of weapons to hold on to in case they really needed something.
First day of weapon training with Geralt. One of them shoots himself in the foot. The other one sees the blood and faints. The other two run around in panic trying to find bandages.
But I think logically the best decision is to just go to the guild hall and see if anyone's interested.
But that would actually probably be a good choice for what you can cover in your morning then.
Yeah.
So anything else you guys want to do in the night before your characters all go to rest? I think that's a no.
Oh my god, no, I shouldn't do this. But the evil devil on my shoulders tell me to.
Uh-huh.
She's gonna go to the waiting woman and go, how'd you like a new job?
Oh god.
This woman has already gone 2 sheets paler to the wind just by being near you, you crazy necromantic SOB. And she's just like, new job? Looking at you with a panicked expression.
It'll be probably paid better, fed, and you get to see a life adventure.
Oh.
Immediately, she's just like all the nopes and walks off to keep doing her job.
And then Valena's go, oh, you're gonna be that way. She's not smiling.
Oh god.
The tavern owner looks up, gets a wicked grin, points to the wand. Ah! Moment of panic, but realizes what's going on yet again and continues to work.
You made my decision to try and recruit the homeless not look as terrible.
I know. I'm terrible. Anyways, Valena is like I was about to say. No one says no to Valena, but anyways. But Valena is just gonna walk up, study, and look at her new spells and review them, and kind of tilts her finger under her new raven tombs and pet Soren, if nothing else.
All right, and then obviously go to bed. To which Tombs will nestle up somewhere nearby, on the end table or something, and nest itself to sleep. And well, that's Tombs, and then the wolf will hop up on the foot of your bed, curl up, and go to sleep as well. Theobald will probably hang around with Geralt for a little bit, talking once in a while, and mostly drinking and eating. Then Theobald probably the first to go to bed. Geralt will stay up probably a little bit later than the others, enjoy himself a little bit of a show before going to bed. Because, of course, a tavern has a late night show. What are you talking about?
I had a funny idea for the first thing to teach Alberto.
Hmm.
I want to try and teach him in response to anyone saying the word skulls. I want to teach him to say, "Stop it! Stop it!"
You know what? All right. Well, you want to start training that now?
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't torment the waitress anymore. But I have this funny picture of the raven on one hand, on one of her shoulders, and the parrot on the other shoulders. So that way she hears skulls and stop it, skulls, stop it, skulls. That's bad even for me.
All right. Ozzy, give me an animal handling check.
Oh boy.
Holy shit! It takes you like maybe an hour, and in only an hour of a little bit of food persuasion, you start just saying skulls. Stop it! Skulls. Stop it! Stop it!
I figure this way, if Felena's like hassling people talking about skulls, my parents will just keep yelling "Stop it" at her.
Stop it! What is
Okay,
that?
this is even
Never mind him. He just doesn't like skulls. Stop it!
This is a new level of evil for Valena, but what the hell? She's gonna train another message to her raven.
You're gonna try and
And it's
train a
gonna be-
raven to say a message.
Well, it knows mimicry. It knows mimicry. It does.
It does? Okay.
And according to 5th edition, it has mimicry. And she's gonna train it to say, "They're not smiling."
Jesus. Okay, roll animal handling.
Okay, animal handling. No, that's not bad. Nope.
You struggle for an hour and get nowhere with it so far.
You know, that's also a really wasted use of that ability when we're about to leave this town.
It's just something I wanted to do before it leaves. Just fly by everyone. They're not smiling. They're not smiling, and then you just see all these smiles.
And he overuses the wand and is kaput for the day because you made him blow the whole thing in the
Oh my gosh, we had so much fun with this thing. I almost wish we kept it.
We're still having fun with it, and we're no longer even the ones that have it.
I know. Best magic item ever.
Somehow, some way, I get the feeling you all want to come back to Shadowzar someday. Skulls, stop it!
Oh my gosh, no, we're not doing that. That's horrible. But remember how I said have it on her shoulders? Have the parrot and the raven at the end of her bed, so she wakes when she's trying to sleep. She hears skulls, stop it, skulls, stop. Oh, tormented enough.
I
Okay.
I could kind of picture her hugging the parrot because it's telling the person saying skulls to stop it. Thank you,
should try
parrot.
to-
You understand my pain.
Stop it! Stop it!
Now
I wouldn't
Stop
Oh,
it!
hold on a second. Let me try something real quick. This is gonna be a little bit of a stretch, but if I pull roll high enough, it may work.
What are you trying to do now?
You'll see. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna train the Raven to fetch skulls.
What the fuck?
Does it have the strength to pick up a skull?
That's
Yeah.
a good question.
Maybe if two ravens carried it together.
Oh, a bit of a line between them.
What do you mean? What do you mean? African or European Raven?
Yeah, I don't
Stop
think
it.
a raven can pick
Stop
up a
it.
skull.
It's strength's -4. No, it can't.
Nope. Yeah, I was gonna say no. I don't think your raven can do that, even if you do train
Maybe.
it to.
Maybe a squirrel skull, but that's about it. I mean, I guess you could train it to go pick up tiny dead animals.
Ugh. Oh, what
I
did the
shouldn't
raven
give-
bring
I
home
should
today?
not-
Oh, great, a
I
dead
should
frog
not-
today.
I should not
Thanks.
give you ideas.
told me that.
But
I'm not
anyhow,
gonna do
But
that. I'm
but
not
you've blown 2 animal handling checks already today. I think you're good.
let's progress. Let's progress.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
next day, I think.
Eventually, Geralt is probably the last of the crew to finally head to bed, and you all get about 8 hours sleep thereabouts. Geralt is also probably the last one to come down by about an hour, but quickly wolfs down the still warm breakfast as you all wake up and get used to being up at a reasonable hour in the morning. Oh, excuse me.
Lena drinking her water and just goes, my water tastes funny.
Everybody slowly looks, not sure if they want to. What do you mean funny?
I think someone tampered with it or something. It just almost like the waiting staff doesn't enjoy my company.
By the way, I don't think you hit long rest because your health bars, not. Full.
Oh yeah, where's long rest?
It's right next to short rest, or right underneath it, I believe.
It's under.
Oh
right
yeah,
under-
there it is.
Right underneath speed.
Did it work?
Theobald will be
Yeah.
the best at detecting this. He blinks, not sure if you're being for real or not, and has a look and does a medicine check.
You got a
He
20.
rolls a non-natural 20. Did you really want this to be tampered with? Actually, you know what? Let's roll a 50-50 if it's actually tampered or not. Roll if it's the one that's been tampered. It's been tampered. The cleric slowly leans over, looks into your cup, and goes, "Yep." It goes right back over. Gee, it's almost like messing with people. Doesn't come without fringe problems with it, does it? No. He continues to finish off his breakfast and takes another sip of his clean water. To which by the way, for the barbarian, just overhearing this is just like, "Welcome to civilization," and takes another mouthful of sausage.
I go, well, that's what you get for playing around with skulls. Stop it!
Immediately, the barbarian looks over after hearing that and stifles a food-filled chuckle.
Because I could just picture Rosina saying that after having forgotten that she taught the parrot to do that in response to that word.
I can just.
Oh my gosh.
Since I still got him, I go, well, you know, this hasn't been tampered with, and I hold out one of the skins full of honey mead.
That would be true. That is probably something that has not been tampered with unless you did it yourself.
Yeah. I'm offering it to Valena if she wants it.
She'll take a sip of it, and and she'll take one of the honey mead and enjoy her breakfast.
And let me see how. Okay, I'm gonna rule that. Yeah, this stuff is really nice, but it's like not overpowering. So it's a solid honey meat.
All right.
Whoever made it was at least a nice average mix blend of just making a nice sweet drink with a little tinge of something to warm you up.
And so Valena's going to make conversation and go, so, do you know how long until the ship's ready?
Well, we're gonna go check on it in a little bit.
Theobald pipes up. I believe the last time they talked to us about it, they said they would have it sometime this morning.
Right.
Fishes the last bit of his drink. His food is already gone.
Was there bread with our food?
I would say that you the normal kind of breakfast you get, and then they're probably actually giving you a little bit extra by command of the boss. Is that you're getting like a eggs with a little bit of sausage, probably like at least a good partial part of a loaf of bread, some sausages, and at least a glass of water or whatever drink you happen to want that morning.
Yeah. I give my parrot a few breadcrumbs to reward him for learning his phrase last night.
Valena's gonna cut up small pieces of meat, and give some to the wolf, some to the raven.
All right, so little scraps for your animals, something to keep the wolf happy for now, and a little bit for the raven to make it at least stick around.
So, I assume we're gonna go take care of business after we're done eating because we're getting ready to depart from the town.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I would say after a couple of bits that you give to the parrot, but one time it does let out a little "stop it," but keeps eating anyways. just out of habit for being fed treats for learning.
When Valena leaves the inn for the last time, she's gonna. And when Valena leaves the inn for the last time because of the ship is gonna be ready and all that, she's gonna look at the waitress and just look at her dead in the eye and say, "Remember to smile."
Very nervously continues on about her duties.
I try to I'm gonna try to like slip her a gold coin without Valena noticing as like an apology.
Just kind of nudge her slightly and slip a coin into her hand, just like sorry, and continue on without another word.
Yeah.
She kind of half nods and continues to act like nothing was happening. It does help a little bit with making up for all the craziness, but she's glad that a lot of you are going to be gone for a good while probably at this rate because you seem to be all ready to move on to something else by the sound of it.
Yeah.
And probably heard mentions of a boat.
Yeah. I just want to make sure the boat's ready before I take care of my other business.
All right, so I guess you just want to move to checking on the boat then.
Yeah.
It's the tavern's supposed to be relatively close to the docks. I say it takes you like another. After everyone's done eating, which will probably be around 8:30ish, it takes you another 20 minutes or so to get over there. By which point it's almost 9 o'clock, and just as you're arriving, you see them putting up the bear head on the front of the ship, and that's like the last decal they're putting on as they're about ready to lower it in. You see them wedging it and hammering it into place. Make sure not to damage it while they make sure it also stays on.
Right.
All right. I think I'm going to try to teach another phrase to my raven, and this one's really serious. I'm going to teach it to scream out danger.
Okay.
So
In
every time,
response to what?
Yeah.
so if it sees an enemy or a threat, like a dangerous animal or pirate or something, it would scream out danger. Come back and scream out. Come back and scream danger. Can I teach it to do that?
I'm not sure how you're going to do that very easily, but okay, you can try and go for it. Give me an animal handling.
Right.
I got an idea how you might be able to do this, but we'll see how your roll goes first.
Oh, 15.
I'm gonna say that's gonna be passing. It takes you a little while longer than you would like. It takes you like just the end of the hour before it finally starts to work. And actually, the idea you finally come up with to finally get it to work is that you face away from the boat with the crow as they're finishing it up and about ready to lower it into the water. Turn back around to look at the bear, and you a couple times repeat danger, and then finally one time you turn around to look at it finally danger, and you give him a breadcrumb. And do it a couple more times, and he finally starts to essentially do what you want him to do, which is to call out danger when it sees a threatening animal.
Right.
It just barely starts to work. So a little more practice, he could probably do it even more often. But it seems like at the very least, when something that it can recognize easily as a threat, he'll call out danger.
You're actually using your bird for useful things. Mine's just a vanity item. All right, so we got the boat ready.
So yeah, the boat is finally getting lowered in by the end of Velena's little bit of animal handling. Actually, she probably does this even while the boat's already settled in the water. It takes a little bit after you get there, but they do finally set in the water. They double check everything for leaks, make sure it's all patched up and ready to go, and they are pretty much ready to hand it over. And they even have worked up the documents for you that you just have to sign, so the boat is officially yours.
All right, I take care of that, and I thank them for their magnificent work.
They in reply the shipyard owners like very glad to do business with you. We were trying to find an owner for it anyways, so thank you for taking it off our hands and so quickly. And with that, you are allowed to finally maneuver it out of the shipyard and take it to the proper dock, probably right next to your
Yeah.
canoe, which you can now sell if
Yeah.
you
Well,
want
actually,
to.
I was gonna tie to the boat with my rope that I got.
Oh, you're gonna tie the canoe to the boat? Yeah, so that way, in case you get to a narrow place, you can just use the canoe instead.
Yeah. I mean, it'll still have its uses even if
All right.
you know it's not our main boat anymore. So obviously after that, we're gonna go pick up the Jolly Roger.
So after you get everything settled and you're shipped, you're docked for the first time, you head off to get your special flag. You come up to the people that you bought from, and they have just opened not too long ago. The owner quickly nods and quietly heads to the back. A few moments later, they come out with a nicely folded up black fabric, and indeed, when you open it up halfway, you do see the insignia of the bear, horns on the head, and from its maw, you can see a dangling scale.
Yep.
And then basically they say that it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
Yeah. I say magnificent. I blow a kiss at him as I leave.
I have tempted to have the bird say something, but it'll just go "Rah!" as you leave the room.
All right, so I say to the group, okay, well, the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna, what was it, a guild hall?
Want to go to the
place?
guild hall? Sure.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's probably when we get there, there's probably like There's probably people walking around and they're just there looking for work or whatever, standing around.
There's a few people that are inside the actual building looking for work. There's a few people even out front at this early point in the morning that might be either updating or putting up new things. And actually, yeah, inside the hall is it's commonly known for inside the guild hall that there's like basically a tavern there, which is what you first walked in on to give stuff to that ranger, and there are people kind of sitting about, and it's naturally assumed that people who are just waiting around are either looking to hire people or are trying to be hired, one of the two.
Is there any kind of like podium or anything in here?
Not really a podium per se. I guess there's might be a slight bit of a staging area if that's kind of what you're looking for.
That would work.
So there's like a small little stage you can walk up on. There's a little stairs off to the side.
So, this might be the first time this actually kind of comes up. The fact that, remember, my character actually has a reputation because of the fact that she's a pirate. And it's
That's
not
true.
like-
This could come up to. This could be an interesting reaction.
So I get up on this. I kind of motion for the rest of the group to come up with me, so I'm not just standing up there by myself.
The barbarian looks a little baffled at trying to be driven up a stage, but eventually does so. Theobald doesn't seem to have really any issue with it. Belena?
Elena is just gonna. So she's gonna announce to everyone she's a pirate, basically, right?
Not exactly, but
Okay.
she's gonna state her name, which some people might recognize the name and know that as a result.
I guess Felina will stand up beside her because they've been through a lot together. So
I kind of get up there and I let's see. I kind of like tap my sheathed sword on the stage and go, "May I have your attention?"
A majority of the people finally do stop shouting things, and a few of them do turn to start looking at you.
I go, "Greetings, everyone. I am Azina Arcane. And as much as I love your beautiful city, I'm soon gonna be leaving. We've got ourselves a ship set to sail to the inner sea for adventure and treasure. But our crew could use a couple more guys or gals who are looking for a life of adventure."
All right.
I guess I could roll a persuasion check or something if you want me to.
I'm also doing a quick roll to. I'm trying to decide what I want to roll for checking to see if people know who you are. I'm guessing I'm just gonna have to go with a D20 and Let's go with another D20. Let's see how many of the. Wow, no, not that high. Actually, let's go with like. Yeah, let's go with like that. Oof. Okay, there's like a group of like 20 to 30 people. As soon as you state your name, like about 6 of them immediately raise an eyebrow, and a couple more even in the far back that weren't initially paying attention quickly turn to look. Yeah, even out here, your name suddenly turns heads. Not good, not bad, but you definitely turned a few heads extra by stating your name. Sorry, what was that last bit you were saying?
I was saying, do you want me to roll a persuasion check to see what kind of effect it has on the crowd or anything like that?
Sure. Let's see what you got for a persuasion.
Yeah.
Because you're.
Oh,
wow. Were you already asking if people want to join, or are you just saying that you're getting ready to leave?
I was stating that I'm looking for like a.
You were saying that we're looking for crew.
Yeah, like a couple extra people, like not like a huge crew, but
without really much question, there's a couple of people that do walk forward, and I'm gonna have to pull out a character generator for this now. I'm gonna see what kind of chaos we get to weave this time. I got a few character classes in mind that we can possibly throw at you for extra guys if you want actual character classes.
Yeah, they're mostly probably going to be sticking to the ship, but you need more people to maintain the ship.
Okay,
Especially
actually,
if we end up
I'm
getting
going
a
to say
bigger ship
this.
later.
You very easily pull one guy who is a bit of a navigation person and will be willing to help you navigate the ship. You pull a second person who knows a bit about carpentry and wouldn't mind helping keep the ship prepared. So those are like two key things you got covered there. And I'm going to say we're going to roll an actual character for the third one, and we'll name the other two as we go along here, actually. I think I have a character creation thing somewhere in here. I believe I still have it. Ah, dang it. Oh, Dungeon Maker. And is this it? Random generator? Oh no, that's the random loot generator. Never mind, wrong thing.
Yeah, but obviously the reason I want everybody up there with me was so that it shows that I actually have a crew already.
Yeah,
I'm
we have at
adding
least
to
some
it.
of a crew, so it's not like we need everybody. We just need. Okay, here we go. And we're gonna roll the human, obviously. Any class. Good question is what do we want for another class in your group? You already got a sorceress, so we got a wizard. We already got a tank in the cleric, and we've got a damage-dealing brute in the barbarian, who's about to
Well,
get better if he gets another level.
we technically don't have a proper rogue.
That is
Right.
true. You don't have a proper rogue, and you also don't have a proper ranger either.
You mean like a ranged combatant? Like,
No, ranger as in someone who can like help you out survive in the wild.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, some of the characters already have some decency stuff in that, but not like a master bench lifter on that. That being said, yeah, a rogue probably would be handy because you guys bump into so many locks and traps lately.
and a rogue would probably also be one of the classes the most attracted to my character's reputation.
True. You're all level 4, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
So at
I'm
least
very
I can at
close
least
to
try
level
and
5.
get some stats generated by this. You know what? I'm gonna pull that one. Any alignment? Sure. Any alignment. Generate. Let's see here. Oh, interesting. Actually, they came up with one that sounds like a local. That's actually kind of cool. Okay. I think I know how to pronounce this, but I'm going to put this in the chat so you guys can tell me for sure if I got this right. I think it's
Right.
Giselle?
Giselle. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce that.
Yep.
Giselle.
So, amongst these other two kind of normal ship help guys, you also have a woman that comes up. Dark-skinned, very much like one of the locals. She's somewhat quiet as she comes up, but she does willingly come forward, and I'm trying to see if she has any gear, and I'm not seeing it right now. We're just going to assume that she has essentially like her normal leather armor kind of outfit, probably a darker color too. Does seem to be the roguish type, although you can't guarantee that right off the bat. But she does. If she was to be a fighter, she's obviously a more finessed fighter.
Right.
Right.
And she kind of looks at your crew and just goes, "Would you happen to be needing any extra hands?"
I smile and go, "Why, yes."
Very well. You seem interesting. Seem like an interesting lot. I'll like to join then.
I step down from the stage and I kind of offer a handshake to all the three of them.
Also trying to check personality, motivation. She has money and likes to spend it. I'm trying to find out what her alignment was. Oh, chaotic good. She's a
That
nutbuyer, but
works.
she has a heart of gold. Welcome to the party.
I think my character's chaotic good too, so that's
That's
fine.
almost a perfect alignment.
Right.
All right. So yes. So Giselle's the first one you meet, and I'm going to open up another tab and try and save what is pre-made of her for later. And let's see what the other two are going to be. I'm just going to assume they're going to be guys, probably. And we'll make them humans. And class, human. And generate. You get a Conrad. And I'm going to say that Conrad is the navigation guy.
Uh-huh.
Now let's go something. No, let's. Okay, and Drago is going to be your carpenter.
Yeah.
So-
Now I'm going to keep that tab open for later so I can write those down and make sure I have notes for you guys.
You know what the best part about all this is? We don't need to worry about buying rations immediately because we got all that freaking jerky.
Yes, you actually do have a ton of freaking jerky, and you also already had food supplies from beforehand as well, because it didn't take you nearly as long as you expected to find that dungeon out in the desert to the north. Come to find out, a whole bunch of people are blind, and you found one that was readily available for looting.
And I'm just going to state this right now, even though we're not at that point yet. My character, Azina has enough sense not to raise the Jolly Roger on the ship until we're away from the city.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you don't raise that shit unless you're out in the middle of the open and actually planning to actually do some piracy.
Or at least scare off people that might be thinking about picking a fight and then going, oh, well, the guy Jolly Roger, maybe not.
Are you sure
just
you
wanna
want to attack the horned bear with the
The scale in
the
its
scales in
mouth.
its mouth? Because I've heard about that one. That ain't good.
I kind of have a silly picture in my head where we raise the Jolly Roger in the middle of the ocean to ward off a ship, and then it raises the Jolly Roger and it's the same symbol, except it has a Pac-Man ready to eat it. Yeah, I don't
A
know.
Pac-Man ready to eat it?
Yeah, because don't you know that Jolly Rogers have symbols to tell you what they're going to do?
Yeah, but
Basically-
that's a bit of a stretch, my dude.
Yeah, but
First and foremost, this is
it
prehistory.
makes
How did they know
more
anything about Pac-Man?
Well, that's true, but the joke is, it's basically they're saying they kill pirates. They're pirates that kill pirates. Yeah.
Oh,
So
you're
it's like-
saying that's what my Jolly Roger means? I mean,
Yes.
that was kind of what I was going for because of the fact that my character still has resentment against a lot of other pirates because of what happened to her crew.
Right. But
The best way to make it anti your group would be to have the exact same thing and then big red X through it or something. Or a big
Oh.
red cross through it.
So,
But
Um,
anyway.
I'll tell you guys later. You'll laugh at it.
but
Yeah.
you know, while we're dealing with things, I do point out to Garoth that if you want, you can keep that what was that thing that symbol he has? What would you call that?
Oh, the big Crom
Yeah.
insignia.
He can keep that in the cabin if he wants on the boat.
He quietly nods and agrees. Probably the best place for it, and something that he doesn't have to carry around all the time.
So I'm assuming we head back to the boat after making introductions.
Make introductions, set up a plan to possibly pay them when you're done, and also set up the fact that they need to bring at least a little bit of bedding so they can have a place to sleep inside the
Yeah.
cabin, and also the plans for feeding them for the next at least couple of days, depending on how long you plan to stay out at
Yeah.
sea, and
Yeah.
start heading back to the boat.
Yeah. Well, we're technically not going to be at sea for a while because you still got to go up the river.
But yeah, there's still quite a bit of river, and it's a nice big one too. So
So, but when we get back to the boat, I kind of lay out all my spare weapons and the masterwork studded leather that I never got rid of, and kind of let them know if they need any equipment. This is what I have to spare. Because I got a long sword. We got a long sword. That I don't really use anymore. And there's 4 maces.
actually, not to mention the masterwork stud leather. I forgot that was actually a thing we had left, and actually, I would assume that Giselle would probably like that because that would probably be an upgrade to her basic stuff that she has at the moment, and we'll then leave the regular leather armor for anyone who might want to use it, but not guaranteed to be picked up right away. The other guys are just like kind of like a little hesitant, but sure, okay. And how many weapons do you have left over?
I got a long sword and 4 maces. I actually still have a mace +1 in my inventory that I've never used, but I'm not gonna just throw that at somebody.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, granted, they're not here for combat, but they're still gonna want to be able to protect themselves when we're out in
True.
the sea.
So the carpenter is actually going to take the long sword, and the navigator's fine with taking a mace for now, just as on hand.
All right.
Because yes, even they're aware that yes, there's risks out there, and you're at least providing them with something to defend themselves if the need does arise. Speaking of which, actually, I'm going to have to make NPCs for them anyways, but they're going to be like not as of note as the rest of the group.
Yeah, well, generally speaking, like people that aren't really intended for combat are what they call level 0 fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Where basically they got the stats of like a level 1 fighter, but they don't level up.
Unless you want to actually put effort and money into them, yes.
Yeah.
Which actually is a thing. I've seen people doing that.
I like this NPC. I want him to be useful, basically.
I want them to have something more than navigation or wood carving.
Quick question. Do we ever name the ship?
We have not gotten to that yet. No, I didn't think about that.
No, Azina has not officially named her ship. Air quotes, her ship. The group's ship. Oh, it's my ship. I thought it was our ship when we got it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to really. I'm gonna come up with a name before the next time we play because we're nearing the end of the session anyhow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're technically in the last 12 minutes.
I want to put some thought in this because I want it to be a memorable name, like something like the Going Merry from One Piece, but less cheerful sounding.
Less cheerful. Speaking of which, as you're kind of heading up to the ship without a name, the ship of no name.
Oh God!
Let it die. Drowned it in the river. The barbarian just kind of at one point pops up. The ocean's vengeance.
That might actually be a good name.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you continue, you'll finally get back to the ship. Everyone's finally on board. Stuff is set up inside for storage, and there's also a lower deck area set up for holding supplies and a cooking area when someone's ready to do so.
All right.
That'll be the next crewmate we need to recruit when we actually
It's going to be an actual cook,
people.
yeah. Well, there's if you're actually planning to head straight to the ocean, there's actually 2 more major cities, one along the river and one that would be right next to when you get into the ocean.
Yeah.
That could be a place you could look to hire a cook.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're gonna get into some hijinks on the way.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm pretty darn sure. There has to be hijinks, otherwise, what's the point of this riverboat trip?
Right.
But yes, you all finally get aboard your new ship. Yeah, if I let down the sails for the first time, and it takes a moment or two, but the wind does finally catch it, and you do start to drift away from the dock.
Velena's gonna go to the edge of the boat and look at the city one last time as she watches it fade into the distance.
And speaking of which, I think I've had an image I've been holding on to for a while now. I believe you all remember the tiny dinky river you kind of came in on.
Yeah.
If I can find it now, I believe it should still be in here somewhere. Actually, does it list stuff? I think it does list stuff by newest. So if it was in here, it'd be somewhere down here. That's the old world. That's the world map we're still looking at. Ah, here we go. Boom. Drag and drop. Yes, you slowly see the city fade away into the distance. The river finally starts to take over your view. As it slowly gets wider as the further you go down it.
Right.
And before long, you just see nothing but mountainous regions here and there scattered between huge palm trees and more desolate flatlands. And a majority of it just flooding river either behind you or ahead of you.
As we're, getting further away from the city, sailing, Xena just kind of stands near the front of the boat and just takes a nice deep breath. It has been so long since I've had this feeling.
And then the silence is suddenly broken by Skulls, stop it!
Stop it!
Sorry, getting over it. Anyways, Velena is just gonna walk up from the edge of the boat and walk towards the front and just look at the front with Xena and just say, "Where to, Captain?"
Xena just kind of grins and goes, "Where to? Adventure." Also, I love the music change.
The Drift on the Ocean of Sand is actually probably one of the more piratey songs they have in the Exiles. It's like, yeah, this is a must now. We're on the water. I'll have to find some more of the pirate stuff, but yeah.
It's probably a good spot to stop for the night, right?
Yep,
Right.
that's a good enough spot to stop. So, thank you all for coming on again, and thanks to everybody watching, and especially thanks to everybody on BitChute. You've been some hell of a good bunch of viewers. Like there are at least 20 views within a week on BitChute. So, thank you everybody for watching. Hope you all enjoy, and we'll catch you all possibly next week for some more. See you all then, and have a good night.
Later.
Later.